Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having a cracker Sunday here. We're going to just rip into those three Saturday games. We started with a pretty good game there with the Storm and the Raiders. Just such a good team to watch, the Storm, especially in that first half, just really dominated. Raiders came back a little bit in that second one, which is good signs for them. But if you're looking at the three big dogs in the Storm team, they all delivered this week after Munster's pretty average game last week. He had the 80 on the week before and the 30 last week and now the 73. So back to his best, running the ball well, 160 metres, a couple of try assists, plenty of kick metres as well, which is very interesting. A lot more than what Hughes had. So they're very much splitting it week to week. So it's hard to tell. It's just more depends which side they want to kick to, I suppose, with how that goes. But he was great. Harry Grant, if you've stuck solid with him, if you've traded for him over the last few weeks, if you went Reed to Harry Grant, then he did really well. But 69 minutes for him with a try and a try assist, 7 tackle breaks, running the ball. He was awesome and should be a staple in the majority of teams. He's actually not owned by a very high percentage just with how the season's gone for him. But he's delivered this week for any owners. Jerome Hughes, so a 61 for him. Again, a really, really nice score when you look at a couple of the halves this week that haven't done so well. If you've held on to Hughes, and I think you should have, then you did great there with 61. These are the type of games he could have. He has those, big tackle games. He has the big kick meter games. He has those ones where he scores tries. He has ones where he sets up. He can do it in so many ways, and he's a special player. So well done to Hughes for that. Tommy Starling, so got the 43 tackles for 1 miss. Had the 5 tackle breaks. That really nice run through the middle there. A couple of penalties, hurt him a little bit early on, but then he really smashed it and got the 80 minutes. So it's probably what we were looking for over the last bunch of weeks, especially with thinking Frawley probably shouldn't have been starting for that 20 minutes. So Starling's in there with 52. Was great for anyone who owns him. And he's owned by a decent percentage, especially in that top. I think he's about 60%, the top 1,000. So well done to those guys that have him. If you stuck solid with Brady Schneider, you did really well with that 44 in that 80 minutes. So you obviously got a try saver in there, which was nice. But 26 tackles for 3 misses against the Storm. You'll take that. He's very, very solid in that department. Ran the ball a little bit, 126 kick meters, got the 4 goals. So just does a little bit across the park, and he's going to continue to make money at that 44 average. So well done if you're playing him and also owning him there. But 10 in negatives, and he's still got the 44. You'll take that every day of the week. So well done to Schneids there. Horsburgh still solid there. Got big minutes this week, which is interesting. Sutton, big PPM kind of player, and finally got a chance on that edge, but who knows if that's going to happen regularly or not. Joshy King, he's starting to level out a little bit. He's made plenty of cash for owners. A 36 in the 68 minutes, so big minutes there. Not really any negatives, but just the lower tackle numbers this week with them having the ball, attacking a lot, kind of slowed him down. I think you can possibly select, use him as someone to trade up or down over the next few weeks, but there also is a few issues around that mid-range mark. So up to you how you want to proceed with that, but we'll speak about that a little bit later in the week. Pappenhausen had the 5 goals and the try, and unfortunately only gets 19. So did go off for a small period just before the halftime break. This is what happens with him, I suppose. When teams have so many options, you can see with Reed, for example, at Para, and Teddy sometimes as well, is that with so many options, there's not as many opportunities sometimes for them to do really well, even if the team does, if that makes sense. Like, like you saw what happened with Cook last year. A lot of time he was just getting it out to Cody early. So great ball out in front, but Cody got a lot of the spoils the outside backs did, whereas in this game here, Pap didn't get it, unfortunately. So that was that. The 19, don't stress with him. He got 102 last week. He can come out and get 80 next week as well. So that's that. Tomoko wasn't as good as well with 17 in his 40 minutes. He went off with an injury, which was annoying. Xavier Coates was 16, so annoying if you're looking to play him in this type of game where they dominated. So sometimes it just doesn't go to that wing. Sometimes it doesn't get a Pap. So that's how it goes. Brandon Smith, 36 minutes was really strange. So I don't know if he's struggling a little bit with his injury, and they're like, okay, we don't really need to use you too much at the moment. So not exactly sure what's going on there, but only 14 for him. I just stay well clear of him. Still owned by 5.5%. So if you do own him, you probably got to hold, but it's a bit of a worry. He's only had that one really good game. The 4 missed tackles and 12 and 12 only made was not really good enough. And Rapana there as well, so 10 in 80 minutes. So tried to get involved a bit, but didn't really work out for him in this game. So that's that one there. We'll move on to the last 2 games, and we had the Bunnies up against the Dragons, and a few like mini comebacks in these 2 games. The Bunnies one and also the Eels game, but Really, really good score again for Damien Cook with 69 in his 80 minutes. So a nice line break through the middle. It's good to see anytime his meters gained is up anywhere above that 80 mark, he's getting tackle breaks, offloads, the random line breaks, and he's tackling really well at the moment, really getting involved in that 80 minutes. So he's very much the form hooker of the year, and you get him at a pretty high price if you want to own him. But he was great. And Cam Murray also with that 63 in 65 minutes. You just can't stop him at the moment. The 2 turnover tackles, just tackling in under the ball, a couple offloads, a couple of tackle breaks. Really no negatives apart from the one miss. So he's been special, continuing to do what he's been doing the whole year. So did get his breather this week, but he's still got the big score. So well done. Jaden Sewer finally had a game where he didn't get suspended, so he did well with a try. Kolomatangi, same thing. We had Graham, who's been special all year. So if you started with him, you've done really well. A couple of turnover tackles to go along with his try, assist, and try. Matt Fagai, I was thinking Fainai, that's the one. 55 in his 80, so he's actually had a really good start. But again, too expensive in just the centre position. He's someone that if he continues keeping his spot, he'll get the jewel as well, but not someone we'd look to pick up. Tane Milne with 52 as well. He was good. DeBellin 48, Lomax 48 was solid. Jackie Bird, if you still own him, so 44 in his 80 minutes. Got the line break. Tackle numbers were much better in terms of one miss this time. Got a few offloads, just a bit of everything, which was good for him. Jai Arrow, again, becomes someone that you could potentially use as an upgrade target now with 43 in his 58. So again, splitting time between the edge and the middle. Minutes is okay. PPM's okay. Just 3 missed tackles kind of hurt him a little bit with only 31. So he probably needs about 40 there to get us closer to the 50 score. So he can eventually be someone you look to trade out. All right, Lockie Ilias, I spoke about him as being someone you could probably play this week, as I felt like he was getting a lot better. You could just see he's getting more comfortable in that role. And now he's been given the reins for the kicking. So 475 kick meters is much better than what we were seeing at the start. They're letting Walker run the ball a bit more and Ilias control the team. So that's working out a lot better for him. They're starting to win games. So that little try assist, and they had one for Graham. He had a little kick for Graham that he dropped as well. So he would have had another one there. 4 missed tackles, a couple of errors, and a penalty. So still some negatives there, but to still get 42 was really, really good. And I think he's going to start making a fair bit of cash now. So if you're one of those owners that still has him, I know there's a bunch of people that got off him pretty early. He's going to start to make money now, which is good. This is what we need. We just need guys that are actually playing and they get a couple of good scores and then they start making a fair bit of cash. So he's doing well now. Keep him in your side, hold on to him. And against those easier teams, then you can potentially play him as well if he's getting those kick meters and the odd try assists as well. We got a little bit lower, and Benny Hunt with 29 was a bit frustrating again. So they're not playing very well at the moment, and he is obviously not definitely not benefiting from that at all. So 3 missed tackles, couple of errors, couple of penalties, negative 14 there, which is really tough. Only 12 tackles, so we'd be hoping for a fair few more from him. Around that 20 mark would be ideal. Kick meters has been down. And then no real attacking stats. So 29 for him. That's a couple of games in a row where he... excuse me. A couple of games in a row where he hasn't done so well, unfortunately, which is, not what we want when he's had a couple of really big games. So he's the only one in my head-to-head team that's killing me at the moment. And then so I suppose for him, you just continue to hold and hope that they start to play a little bit better. But unfortunately, it's not happening at the moment. Blake Taff came on and covered for Latrell, who went off with that hamstring tightness or injury. Kicked the goals as well, so it's nice that you have pretty much a like-for-like replacement as much as Latrell's super talented. You got Taff that can come on and do that. Latrell got a try in that time as well, and Talata Amone came on and got 21, so you're not going to lose too much cash with him, but also not going to go great. If you decide to bring in Davi Mwale, he got the minutes we're hoping, 28. Just 13 points though. The 74 run meters, the 2 penalties was annoying, and the 10 tackles. So, not exactly what you want. But if he continue getting that 28 minutes, he should be able to get closer. He's someone that's always had a really nice PPM when he's played for the Bunnies. So, that 13 will increase from here. And if he can continue that, I think it'll be a good option to use as a downgrade if he continues to get some decent. If he continues to play each week. Martin Nichols looks like he's out for about 6 to 8 weeks, so we have a bit of time to use him. And then Cody Walker with 8 in his 80 minutes on the park. He's definitely not an option at the moment. All right, move to the Eels and the Titans. So here he is, big David Fafita. He's back. He kind of gave people the option if they asked me the question, what do I do with Fafita? Do I hold or do I trade this week? And I gave that little bit of a narrative during the week there that he could eventually, it's going to happen eventually. He's not losing you too much, like he's losing money, but he's not losing ridiculous amounts, averaging 45. He's still scoring better than a lot of people. It's like, well, who are you trading him to? Are you just going directly sideways to another gun? Are you dropping him down to a cheaper guy that's going to make some money? There's a few different things, and the consensus was you can move him down maybe and bank some cash and build your way up to Cleary or something like that, or you could hold this week and see what happens. And I'm hoping that a few people did hold, and if you traded, it is okay. He's not going to get the 79 each week. He's not going to get that try. He's not going to make 34 tackles for 0 misses. Like, it just doesn't happen for him. Obviously got a few big runs in there, a couple offloads, so yeah, definitely like more, closer to the perfect game for him. But this is, what he did in, big patches last year, and it could happen again. So that's the only worry there. Gutho was 65, so 2 tries for him was really good. Just a bit of everything. Again, a couple offloads, 6 tackle breaks. He's been great, over these last few weeks, especially since the Eels have been, using him a lot more, playing a lot better. Plenty of points being scored. So well done to him. Moses as well, 65. So the 3 try assists, the 3 goals, 21 tackles, 320 kick meters, 80 meters gained. He was great. So well done to anyone who owns him. Unlucky if you've traded him the last 2 weeks. But yeah, that's that. Gamble Gillard 65, Madison 63, so let's just keep an eye on Maddo over the next bunch of weeks. Papali'i was 61, so try assist there to go along with his 39 tackles, 189 metres. He's awesome, doing a great job. Aaron Clark got big minutes. If you own him, well done. Nathan Brown with the full 80 this week, which was interesting. Greg Marzu 43, Simonson, Jolliffe there. Fodawaker, I just don't think he's anywhere near a keeper, so you need to move him on. Sexton with 38, yeah, not too much, better game for him, but no attacking stats there, unfortunately. Brimson got a couple of the try assists instead. Both for more with 36, so again, not really his game. 35 tackles, 5 misses, a bit higher than normal. But the 88 metres and the 1 turnover tackle there was okay. So you'd hoping for a better game next week from him, but makes sense as his first game back after COVID. So we saw what happened with Brody Jones, and he improved from that as well, for example. Junior Bolo as well with 35. It is 44. Not great. 225 metres run, which was pretty cool. But still only 35 points in that time. Tino was a bit down. So Dylan Brown had the try assist and the try, and just no run meters this week. 57, no real kick meters, hardly any tackles compared to normal. Only the 1 miss was fine, but 3 penalties. That killed him a bit. That's a 38 there without really doing much if you take them away. So yeah, just this again, another example of not chasing last week's points or the 2 weeks before's points. So he's got a 31 and a 32 now to go along with a 60 and a couple of 80. So a lot more inconsistent than previous years, which is interesting. But there's so many points in this game, so it's really difficult to see is this gonna happen each week with so many points? Like why are they getting so many points scored on them as well? I thought they were meant to be a better defensive team, but anyway, that's that. Penasini had 30, so didn't went his way a little bit more with 120 meters, but I'm really happy with the tackles there. And this is kind of what we saw pretty much every week other than the Storm game, is that we'd have 30 in base, and then he'd get out there and be able to score a try against the odd team there. So we'd like to see that more regularly, but the 32.6 average, we'll still see him making a bit of cash over the next few weeks. That's that. So Reid did lose, unfortunately, some game time. So he got down to 61 minutes. Thankfully, I did move him on. Moved him on for Kobe Hetherington. So Reid scored 5 more points, but at least won't be losing a lot of cash that Reid is. So 31 tackles, 2 misses, 38 run meters, just not doing as much. Just giving the boys early ball. That's all he's really, and tackling away. Just doing his job, really, at the moment, without being spectacular like he was last year. So that's that. He has to go from anyone's side who owns him. And then anyone down lower, Will Smith there, if you're still holding him, 16. Makatoa, Opachik with a lower game than usual. Wonga Blake, unfortunately, going off injured, which hurt their plans a little bit, unfortunately. But other than that, that's about all we've got to say in this one, guys. I hope that review helped you guys out, and I wish you lots of luck in the Sunday games. Let me know where you're at with 2 games to go, how many players you got left. I think the majority of teams might have between 5 and 7 maybe, because there's a lot of the old Panthers players, for example. But as I said, hope you enjoyed that. We'll catch you in the next one, team. Have a good day.